feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no wave.
Enough of that. Enough of that. Yo, did y'all see my man Diddy, bro? Diddy has now dipped out. I don't know why Diddy cleared his Instagram to basically post that he's boarding a plane. And this is what I've heard about what's going on with Diddy, right? So first of all, Diddy's selling his crib in LA. So Diddy wants to sell his house. He's trying to sell his house. He's looking to sell it for $70 million. Okay. This is the house that was rated in LA. And this is that house right here. So this is that house. It's in LA. It's in Homely Hills. Apparently it is I forgot how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms, but he had supposedly bought it for $40 million. So he's looking to get $70 million for it, which would be a $30 million increase. Now, let me tell you what I've heard. This is the behind the scenes talk. They said that Diddy is preparing for what's going to be a fight for his life. Okay. I hear that Diddy is looking at things that he needs liquid cash. Now, we all know that Diddy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but a lot of times when we hear about people worth a lot of money, people assume that that money's in the bank account or on hand or in some type of safe. No, those a lot of times are in assets or being invested or in companies. Or sometimes, as it comes in, the cash flow sometimes is just paying bills. Diddy supposedly is liquidating, and from what I've heard a number of he's going to liquidate up to $200 million. And he's going to liquidate that amount to have as a war chest. He's going to use that to try to get up on out of this if he can. What does that mean? For some of the serious or maybe problematic civil suits, and even some people who are even approaching him now, because apparently there's still going to be civil suits to come, he's realizing, let me start paying a couple of y'all, especially if y'all haven't gone public, that y'all don't go on the radar of anybody else. Because the feds are investigating, he don't need additional witnesses going in front of a grand jury that could indict him. Also, maybe some of these civil cases he might try to settle. Now, I don't think he's going to try to settle all of them because some of them allegedly are bullshit. And some of them, you might as well go fight it. But I hear that the reason why he's liquidating all this money is that his lawyers cost a shit ton. He's trying to handle some of this civil suit shit. But he's also prepared if shit goes down that he's going to have to need a lot of cash and use a lot of cash to maybe avoid what might be the inevitable, which is him having to go sit down for a really long time due to these impending or potentially upcoming criminal federal charges. So, liquidating his homes, yes, that would be one thing. Now, here's the thing with Diddy. I don't know about this Homely Hills home, but from what I've heard, he had taken out a second mortgage on a second house. On I think it's the house in Star Island, and apparently there was a mortgage already for that house. So he don't own that house. I don't know if he owns this house outright, but for what I'm hearing, he's trying to get cash on hand. He wants to have money that he could throw around, because what's the use of having all this money if you're not going to use it to your this is the moment you need it to fucking throw it to try to, put out a couple fires. Yeah. So that's one of the major things as it relates to, him trying to get money quickly. What else? There's another thing, but I just forgot it. What was I trying to say? Oh, also. Now, from what I've also heard is that when you have, and by the way, I know this very well. Obviously, I don't own a $70 million house, but when you have a house that's worth millions, you accrue a lot of costs, whether it's, I think I told you I spent like 23,000 a year on landscaping. You know what I mean? It's a big property. You want your shit to look nice. Everybody else shit look nice in the neighborhood. You got to pay it. You get what I'm saying? And that's just my crib, right? I'm pretty sure he maybe pays over 100,000 for that. You know what I mean? A year. Then you think about electricity. Then you think about housekeepers. Then you think about they from what I've heard, there is hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially millions, that goes into upkeep of that property that he's also downsizing a bit. He doesn't need 2 cribs. He has less business opportunities or business ventures in LA. He needs to start saving money. So, you know, when you're making an enormous amount of money, sometimes it actually helps if you're spending it, because, you know, you could do it in different ways, write off in taxes and stuff like that. But when, you know, for what we're thinking about with Diddy, we don't think that he's racking in a lot of money right now. His streaming has gone down. Apparently they've pulled products off of the shelf at Macy's. He doesn't have the liquor deal anymore. The clothing brand supposedly is worthless. He's not making a lot of money from known ventures. Maybe he has money invested that's compounding. Cool. But we also got to think about it that, hey, if he's thinking that this is the last dance, this is the final stand, this is going to be Avengers Endgame for him, he doesn't want to be spending money that he would normally have no problem spending because it's about luxury, right? Yes, you don't mind spending $1 million per year for upkeep on this house because you know you're making so much money and you got to spend the money anyway. But when you know the money's getting clipped and you don't know where your future lands, you have to start cutting costs. So getting rid of some of these houses, maybe some of these penthouses he probably also owns, he's probably going to sell. And again, here's a thing too that's probably going on with Diddy. You know, his assets at this point are probably also being monitored to some extent by, you know, some type of authorities in the sense of, hey, in case you want to put everything in the baby's name, you know, because who knows if all of these, say he goes to court and say he gets found guilty, they might feel like he owes money. You know, he's going to be liable to having to pay maybe a whole lot of money to maybe potential victims. And when that is the thought, shit, you know what that nigga might do? All right, let me put this in my baby's name. You know what I mean? That y'all can't come for it later. But he's in the middle of the fire already. So from what I hear, people are kind of watching that as well. But he's trying to consolidate. He's definitely trying to downsize a bit, which makes sense. So I'll give you a little bit more information of what I heard. So what supposedly is happening is, and that's why I was wondering why he posted the video of him boarding the plane. This is the video here.
Shit. What up, yo? How you doing? Yeah. No place right home. Shit. What up, yo? How you doing?
Okay. So, you know, he's like, no place like home, whatever. Cool. He shows he's boarding Combs Air. For what I have been told, Diddy was handling some business, tying up some loose ends, whether it was in LA or wherever else. He's supposed to, at this point, at this final stretch, supposed to be returning to Florida. And I've heard that his attorneys have spoken to the feds. So this is what, you know, this is the privilege of, number one, being cooperant, but also having a very big and expensive attorney firm. They're going to be speaking to the feds, even though the feds are trying to lock him up, right? Because you want to show that, hey, I'm cooperative, I'm not trying to run, this and third. And you also want to maybe maximize the time before they file what could be like an indictment. And one of those things, or how you do it, is you got to make the feds feel like you're moving accordingly. So what I hear, this is exactly what I heard. If he's going to get on that plane, the feds know. Now, the feds are going to know anyway, because you have to file what's called a manifest with the FAA, and they could just easily pull those to see if Diddy's going to be on a flight. But I hear in the case he does get indicted, they want him to get bail. So he's right now telling the feds, hey, listen, I'm about to return to Florida or I have to go to LA for these dates. He's giving them an itinerary, which means if they see that he's boarding a plane because he has his own plane, and this becomes a bail thing if he ever gets indicted, they're less likely to give you bail if they feel like if you have a private jet, like you literally have a vehicle or you have a vehicle, I guess, that could take you out of the country and bring you somewhere where they would have to it would be very hard to extradite you from. So they always think about in terms of flight risk. The literal flight risk is having a jet that could fly. So he's working with the feds now saying, hey, or like his attorneys, yo, Diddy's going from here to here. He's going to be here for this amount of time, blah, blah. I do hear that he's about to go back to Florida and stay there until the conclusion of this process. Now, there's a possibility that the feds come back and say, we ain't getting no charges on him. And then he'll be straight. But until that is done, he's communicating with them, telling them exactly where he's going to be, right? And he's been doing that. And from what I hear, he'll continue to do that. You get what I'm saying? Somebody said, bro, I'm sure they knew beforehand. Well, isn't that what I'm saying? Somebody said, Ak wants Diddy to be put in jail. No, not at all. Like, I mean, I don't know what's true and what's not at this point.
Yeah. No place like home.
But I do think that this video is a little bit. He starts the video by saying, no place like home. As he boarded the jet.
What up, yo? How you doing?
This is his pilot. Damn, he got his pilot even matching the jet. He's wearing black. The jet's black.
Yeah.
A little last flex with the Combs air.
No place like home.
I wonder if he's gonna stop in Philly and pick Meek up. You know what I mean? One last, good oil down back rub. Anyway, but yeah. So it appears that he's going to be trying to spend the last. Again, I don't know if he's gonna be arrested or not, but a lot of people are predicting indictment. He's supposed to be selling all the properties, liquidating everything outside of that Star Island residence, and he's going to also return to Star Island as everything goes on. And the feds know him. The feds know this. Like he's communicating with the feds, and we'll see. We will see, man.